Thank you, guys. Saiz. S-A-I-Z. Saiz.
You're right.
Exactly. Mike Saiz. I'm completely new to this speaking thing. I have no idea what I'm about to say. I'm just going to tell you the story that I've been through the last 2 years and maybe a little before that, backstory of my life. Okay. Disclaimer, waterworks are going to come because it's here. I can't stop it. So, been a paper maker for 10 years. I work at a paper mill in Ontario. 12 hours to 16-hour shifts, rotating schedule. 7 in the morning, 7 at night. Damn. 2 years ago, I should have been killed. God saved my life on the spot. Man, it's way harder than I thought. Okay. So, there's a tail thrower. I was on my hands and knees, and I was troubleshooting a piece of equipment that was spring-loaded and pressurized. I pushed up the back of it. It came down on my head, and everyone thought I was dead. So they pulled me out by my ice vest, because in the factory, like bro knows, I worked in that 120 for 12 hours, 10 years. I mean, we wore ice vests most of the day to keep us cool. But anyway, they pulled me out, and I came to, and I was like, what are you guys looking at? Get back to a lot of other words, get back to work. You know, what are you looking at? I had no idea what happened. I thought I was still on the winder. I mean, it was crazy. So they pulled me up and I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm good. Let's go back to work. So I'm trying to step down and I'm just wobbly. I just didn't know what happened. So anyhow, went to the doctor. I had a concussion. I had some back injuries. The things in your ribs got torn a little bit because I got pushed into a really crazy ball, and I'm not small, so it was tough to get me in this small. Anyhow, after that hit to the head, I started seeing things like a movie in my head playing over. And at first I thought it was concussion symptoms, like, okay, I've never had a concussion, so I didn't know what to expect. I started seeing all kinds of stuff, and I told my wife, I said, honey, there's something going on in my head. I don't know what I'm seeing stuff. It's a movie. And I've always been a movie buff. I just love movies. I get to leave my reality for a while and, a couple hours and enjoy a movie. And I don't like people talking to me when I watch my movie because I'm into the movie. But this movie was in me, and I just didn't know how to take it. It was just, man, it's still crazy. So sitting on the couch, a couple weeks passed, I'm just losing it. My wife's at work, and I started writing all this stuff down of what I was seeing in my head, because I just didn't know what else to do with it. It just made no sense what I was seeing. But as I started writing, the words like made sentences and ideas, right? So I didn't know what I was writing at the time, but when I went back and read it, several pages, I still have the book, and I can't wait to bring that book along and show people what I wrote. But when I looked at that and I read it, now here we go. Damn. I said, God, I looked up this. And I was a little angry, I'm not going to lie, because I was a little angry. I said, God, are you telling me to go help seniors and do something? And just like that, I wasn't even there anymore. It was like he answered a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of painful moments in my life, all in the, I don't even know, but it was a feeling. It wasn't a word, it was a feeling. It was real, it was real. And so I mean, take it back to some of the things he showed me. I grew up in Hemet, on the streets of Hemet, no parents, grew up real hard, and a lot of drugs, a lot of alcoholics, a lot of gang members, a lot of trouble, and it was life for me. That was normal, and I just planned on, getting by and trying to keep a roof over my head the whole time, but that was my life, and that's who I was. Alcoholic, of course, just by being around everybody, but he showed me the suffering that I had went through was for something, and I had a peace. Like, why didn't I have a dad? I've asked myself that my whole life, but in that blink of an eye, it was like he showed me why, and it was more of a feeling. So I'll probably start rambling. Sorry, Randy, but the feeling is here. It's I can't say the words because, like I said, it was a feeling. But I'm telling you, it was I was on fire. I was on fire, and I just asked my wife. I said, "Honey, I know what I got to do now. I know what I've been seeing. Do you trust me?" And she said, "No way." And I said, "But I don't know what else to do." I said, I don't know what else to do because I'm going a little something's weird here." So I said it. She said, "No, but you know what? I see something in your eye like I've never seen before." So I said, "Okay." So I took out my 401k and every dollar I've ever saved my whole life, and I invested into this. And so where was I? Oh, goodness. So with that being said, I've never been an educated person. I've been a blue-collar worker my whole life. I mean, I just work for a living. I never wanted to get an education or learn something new. To get a 501c nonprofit and go through the steps of learning at 45 years old and changing careers and taking a retirement, and I have 3 20-year-olds living in my house, and it's like, I've provided my wife a good lifestyle, on this. I finally got up to a 6-figure job. Like, I made it. I was successful in my mind. 6 figures was my goal. I was, yes. And we lived pretty decent, and I took that all away from my wife, which hurts, but but I'm supposed to do it. This is something different. This isn't a normal. People keep telling me it's a ministry, but I didn't know what that was. I wasn't a guy like this. I wasn't a religious guy. I was saved. So one of the visions he showed me was when I was about 11 years old. On Talkwood Street in Hemet, there was a bus that came down the street every Sunday and picked up the neighborhood kids and took them to the dwelling place. And so I said, well, gosh, that's a cool, I've never been on a bus. Let's get on this bus. I was like, cool. Bus ride, free ride. And so we had friends. I went to church and I'm like, wow, this, and I remember this only because the hit in the head, he showed me these things. I never remembered this story. So I went and I felt something when I was young, and goodness knows, I don't know what that was, but they were going to save people that night. And I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. What is that? Well, they put you in water and you believe. And I felt it at a young kid. I just didn't know what it was. So I said, okay, yeah, I'm going to ride my bike way out there and I'll meet you at that house. Because again, no parents, no cars, nobody in my life. I just felt like I needed to ride my bicycle out to this house. And in Hemet, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Hemet, but I lived in the barrio on Menlo and State, where they had shacks and they were all people that were bad. I mean, just bad. So anyhow, I got on my bike and I rode to a fancy place in Hemet out to the east side, and I'm looking at 2-story homes. I said, oh, I'm gonna live here one day. This is what I want. I want a neighborhood. I've never seen neighborhoods with garages and just the whole neighborhood was like this, big houses. So that night, they're celebrating. There's families everywhere at this where we're getting saved, right? What is it?
Dwelling place.
The dwelling place. Well, we went to the pastor's home and he had the pool and he was like, everyone's getting saved today. So I remembered he showed me getting dunked, feeling great, coming up happy as ever. And everyone for a second, next, and then I walked around and nobody was there for me. Nobody. 0 people. And I'm soaking wet, 11 years old, and I was the dirty little kid on the block. The parents there really didn't like me because I was kind of a rough kid, but I was there still. So I look around and I remember just looking at people and the families, and I'm like, oh, they're celebrating, they're hugging them, and look at, oh, they got a towel for her, and I'm just standing here and no one's even looking at me. And I'm soaking wet. So I walk out the front door and got on my bike and I rode home and cried my eyeballs out. So, but I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that till he showed me that. It's so real. It's so real that I don't know what to say to you guys other than God gave me an idea to go help senior citizens because they get ripped off. They're left behind. They're scammed. They're mistreated. They're forgotten about. The 70 and 80-year-olds that I help are the forgotten generation. They've never had to ask for anything. They were raised to be just self-sufficient. So they don't ask. When they have mold under their kitchen, you guys, they live with it. They get sick from it. They don't even know they're getting sick from it. I go down there to fix a faucet and I'm like, oh my gosh, this whole thing has to be replaced. But they didn't, they just needed water. I helped someone that didn't have hot water for 3 years. 3 years, and people knew, but no one wanted to help. Nobody. So, I just researched stuff, getting on the computer, and thanks, Randy. The suffering that we just, I don't know, maybe forget is out there, or since we're so busy now in our lives, in our ministries, I mean, just many miracles everywhere, like meeting Tim at a Rotary Club, and now I'm here talking to a bunch of guys, and I mean, I just feel like this little. You guys are all, you know what you're doing and saying in the Word, and I don't, but I really want to. I want to. And this is something we need to get out here and help. This isn't my idea. This is God's idea. He hit me in the head to knock some sense into me, literally. And that's what I see. I see us. I see people coming together. I don't see it being a big task. I had one lady tell me it's impossible. They have people making millions trying to figure this problem out. But that's the problem. They're making millions. They're stopping them from actually caring and doing the right thing, and getting your boots on the ground was the first couple months. Over and over in my head, just go out and work. I said, I don't know where to start. Where do you start? By yourself. Where do you start, right? So I can't even remember where I started. I think my wife posted something on the Nextdoor app and said, hey, my husband's wanting to help seniors for free. And boom, all kinds of people. And that led me to this person. And I think it led me to Randy, but we're not sure of that story. Should I go there right now?
Sure.
Okay, so, oh man, you tell your part real quick, because these are the miracles. This is important for you to hear how we met, because it's a miracle.
So one morning, I'm taking my trash out to pick up the next day, and my gate comes off in my hand. So I go inside and tell my wife, wow, I got to get somebody to build a new gate or buy one, whatever. So I go to open my computer, and what I see is what Mike said. If you need something done, senior, give me a call, I'll do it for free. So, and we're not quite sure how that happened, but I just opened my computer and I see this. So I call and I tell my wife, yeah, this guy says he's going to come and fix it for free. So, okay, I've heard that kind of stuff before. We'll see how long it takes before I get converted, right? So Mike introduces himself. He says, oh yeah, I think I can fix this. So I go back inside, tell my wife, yeah, the guy's here. He hasn't given me the full lowdown yet, but he's working on the gate. I go back out, I spend some time out there, I watch him work. He knows what he's doing. So eventually, he finishes, and he puts his hand out, and he says, okay, man, you're all set, no charge, God bless you, and that's it. And I was just like dumbfounded. I was beside myself, and that's it. He walked away, and I felt like such an idiot, and I told my wife, I didn't even offer him a donation or some money because I just wasn't thinking right. So that night, it bothered me so much that I called him up the next day, and I said, Mike, not kidding me. I said, Mike, you are for real, and I'm all in. I'll do what it takes so that we can build this and maybe get more people to help people that get this feeling, and we'll be able to service more and more seniors, because the idea is that we go out to make a repair, but what's really happening is Mike just turns into this warm, fuzzy kitten, parent, brother, sister, and he's just delivering kindness.
So
And
simple.
that's it. Because so many of these seniors have been so shit on, pardon my French, that they just withdraw more. They speak to other neighbors less, even to their own family, and maybe even their family mistreats them. But when Mike goes out, he changes all of that. He gets all the hugs, the kisses, the tears of joy. I'm just on the phone myself. But he changes their state. And we feel that it brings them back more to society.
Mhm.
They're going to be more amenable to somebody trying to help them, to talking to them. Mike talks with their neighbors to see if we can get that circle going again for them, that circle of inclusion, to make them feel more like neighbors, residents, people again.
People.
So that's what's happening. Sure, it's repairs. That's the way they want to have us come, but it's really changing their state, and it's just changing our world too.
Yeah, what
Go ahead.
it's the fact he opened his computer and I was there. Well, normally computers have to warm up. The screen has to come up, right? I mean, press power or click on something to see this. And I don't know if you were always on Nextdoor app or something. Were you?
I don't.
No, probably not. Probably never been on that, but I was there. And that's the miracles that are happening. And it's not just that one, you guys. It's so many of, like, Tim led me here to led me here to lead me here to, I mean, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I have no clue, but I am helping.
I was thinking about widows and or gals that their husbands are in the service.
Mm-hmm.
The senior citizen, their husbands are in the service.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot more lonely women than there are men out there.
Yeah.
And with that being said, that's perfect opportunity for these people to get taken advantage of. And that's actually what's happening. And a handyman will come up sweet as day, hi, Mrs. Something or other. Oh, that's horrible. That's going to really be bad if you let it go. I mean, I've heard everything. Water filtration rip-offs, electric. I mean, I don't do electrical, but I will because they're getting way overcharged to change a light fixture or something. It's endless. I can tell you a list. I don't know time-wise, but I have a list that is a mile long of little things. And back to little things. Little things are big things to seniors, you guys. The little stuff, taking the trash can, walking the dog because I had eye surgery, I had a hips, I mean, anything, little stuff. I can't put this box on this shelf. I can't do these things. But they don't ask for those kind of helps. They live with the mess. They live with the mold. They live with the hole in the floor. They live with, I mean, and you think they're all in mobile, most of them are in mobile homes or manufactured homes. We know those don't last long. The repairs on those are just, I've never worked on a mobile home. I don't know the different everything on those. So I'm learning as I go. I YouTube a lot of stuff. That's how we save people money. And
They live with the scam.
They live with the scams.
One guy charged the lady $120 to come and change the batteries in her.
4 batteries, 4 square batteries, $120, and that was at the Oasis Mobile Park in Menifee. So I'm going as far as Hemet, San Jacinto, Menifee. If I get a call, I'd love to stay closer, obviously, but I don't say no because I can hear it in the voice. You know, I hear that suffering. They pretend they're trying to be tough, but after my accident, I feel it all now. It's different now. I'm a different person. It's everything feeling. You see, I grew up really tough. For a guy like me to break into tears in front of men is just absolutely crazy for me to accept. And none of my friends that I've known in the past would believe this is going on right now because it's not who I was. But
Tell them about the value of some of the jobs.
oh my goodness, you guys. Perfect example in Hemet. I got a lady with a 2-page letter from the HOA saying, you need to fix this by this date. It's 30 days away and she has no money. She has $22 extra after Social Security check, $22 a month. And that's on the discount program from electricity. I asked her about the care programs for the gas company. I mean, I'm saying all this stuff, they're already on it, and they still only have $22. Well, they have a list a mile long, right? And I come over and I say, Trish, you know, she's on a thing and tubes and oxygen. I mean, just she can't get out of the house. Anyhow, she's breaking down and crying. She's like, I guess you're only one person. I mean, this is a big list. And I said, Trish, I will take care of this list. And I'm talking, go to the dump, landscaping, some wiring, the skirt around the mobile, the bricks were off, the concrete needed to be done. I'm talking, the list was pretty long, and I probably should have said, it might be too much for me, but I couldn't. I just can't. And I don't know, and he's telling me, he's like, you're gonna hurt yourself again, and you gotta say no and know a limit. And I can't do it all, and that's what I'm kind of here for, guys. That's just one job that they charge just for the outside ground cover. They needed ground cover where she had dirt there for 8 years, 7 years, and all of a sudden they need ground cover on it. So she had no clue that was going to come up. $2,700 is what the estimate was, $2,700. Now, it was a good square footage, okay? There's some good square footage here, and she needed rock. And I said, well, I'm not doing rock. I got a back injury for days, and I already tried rock, and I did do rock, and I paid the price. So I said, but I can't do it. I just can't. So I said no. So she called me the next day and just broke down crying. She doesn't know what to do. I said, okay, Trish, I'll do mulch, which is still hard. I have a 2-door Civic that I put 4 trips of mulch, 30 bags. I don't know. It was a couple-day project, and I did it. You know, I did it, and she couldn't believe that we did this, right? Because $2,700, and I didn't charge a dime. And I said, now, that's where I need to adjust things, and we're learning actually that I can't live my retirement. It's going real fast, and I have to come up with some other forms of getting funding, which in my head is crazy because it's at no cost, right? I mean, that's what he told me. I don't know what else to do.
By the way, let me interrupt. If anybody knows of somebody that may want to donate a truck,
Oh,
we really need a truck.
or once in a while,
Something dirt cheap for a truck.
yeah, or once in a while, you know, volunteer with the truck, because that's huge for me. Lowe's loves me because I go and get their truck all the time. $20, 90 minutes, no mileage. But that's out of my pocket. All of it's out of pocket. Everything's out of pocket. There are some seniors, and you guys know I'm offering free labor. What do you think is going to happen when those people see free labor? Heck yeah, they got money in the bank. They got they got money in the bank because they like free labor. So some of those get me. You know, I get mistreated once in a while, and that's okay because I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart. It's what I'm supposed to start with. This is all learning for me. I don't know what I don't know. Randy keeps me on track a lot of the time, but I'm here today to tell you there's something special we have to do. We have to do this, not me. It's like we as a community, not just us, but the people you know and someone you know, and everyone knows someone that can make a phone call to a senior. Like Randy was saying, they don't need repairs. They need companionship because they don't talk to people for days and days and weeks and months on end. What happens? Alzheimer's sets in faster. All kinds of stuff happens just because they're alone. So a phone call a week keeps them looking forward to the phone call for the next week. And it could be 15, 20 minutes. Oh gosh, there's so much going on. I was, another miracle is I got introduced to a person named Charlie. Charlie was alone for 3 years, wanted to die since his wife died 3 years ago. He just waiting to die, doesn't want to live, let his house go. Everything is just gone. I meet him. I get called by a real estate person saying he has to get a reverse mortgage for this guy to keep him in his house. And I'm thinking, whoa, I don't know if they're trying to scam him, rip him off. I don't know reverse mortgage. I don't know anything about it, but they said it's the only way to keep a roof over his head. So I said, okay, I'll go meet him. So I get there and they told me he's a hoarder and he raised chinchillas. I'm like, oh gosh, the thought of smell and this, I mean, it went crazy. But something was telling me none of that matters. let's go help this guy. Let's go talk to him and find out, because I don't know this situation till I meet him. So we go meet him. I sit on the stairs for 2 hours because he can't walk very good. And I just sit there with the door cracked open, because literally there's a little walkway, and I put a chair and I'm talking to him. And I said, Charlie, now so-and-so wants me to do this for you, but what can I do for you? What do you want me to do for you? I know she wants to get a commission of some sort. I don't know how it works, but maybe I'm thinking that. But what do you need, Charlie? And he said, I just don't want to live. And I said, well, what do you think I'm here for? I'm here for a reason, right? We're meeting. Maybe there's a purpose for you still.
Maybe you thought you were the Grim Reaper.
Maybe. Free labor getting in my house. I can't walk. He's going to rob me blind. Like Randy was thinking, when's the bill coming, right? Charlie, I told him maybe we meant for something. I gave him a little backstory of what happened. He doesn't believe, but he has his own beliefs, is what he calls it. And I said, and that's fine, because I'm not here to push anything on. I'm here to help you. That's it. What is it? What do you need? Come to find out, he ended up in the hospital. He's riddled with cancer. And this is a crazy story. I know I'm running out of time because I talk so much, but Charlie's in the valley right now. He's been all alone for 3 years, and and he saved my life, because he gave me purpose again, because he felt alone to me. So I told you I feel a lot of stuff. And so when I met him, he always felt alone. And I would go over every day just to bring him popsicles, because he can't eat. He hasn't eaten in over 5 weeks. He has esophageal cancer all through here, stomach, went into his leg. It's in his lymph nodes. It's in his right lung. And I'm talking, this happened fast, you guys. And the insurance companies are saying, nope, you can't afford it. Sorry, got to go home. So I take him to the hospital. I told him, Charlie, I start taking radiation, right? And I'm not medical. I don't know any of this stuff. So I get him in there, and this is hard on me. So I get him four times, and then I get him home, and I get him out of the car, and he just passes out, faints, boom. I catch him, and I get him in the car, and I go in his house real quick, and I know he has a wheelchair from his wife who passed away from cancer. And so I brought it out, and I put him in there. I said, Charlie, we can't do this. I'm not going to continue to worry about you and lose sleep, because that's what I'm doing. I'm so worried about you. The next day he called me and said, let's go to the hospital. You're right. I probably need some help. That day, when I picked him up Saturday, was the first time I put him in the car, and he had a smile ear to ear, and he didn't feel alone. The first time in months I know this guy, he didn't feel alone anymore. So I got him in the hospital, and he got admitted. Thank God he got admitted, because he was going quick without food. I mean, I was bringing mashed potatoes and gravy every day from KFC. And anyhow, he got admitted. He didn't feel alone, and he's smiling nonstop. And I said, Charlie, today's the first day I felt you not alone. He said, because I have you. Now, this whole thing I'm doing, if it ends tomorrow or today, was all worth that moment, because I feel it, and it was real, and all I did was get hit in the head and say, hey, let's go help people. We saved a life that doesn't believe. And
tell them about the girls going to visit.
Well, there's so much to say. I know I'm running out of time, you guys, but please talk to me. I have stories. These are real stories that are happening right now, right here in Murrieta, right here in our backyards, to our people. We probably know. You probably have seen these people.
When did you and Randy first meet?
It was February, first week of February, I believe, and I launched second week of January. You know what's even funnier? And so the night before I met him, I was struggling with this, not knowing what I don't know, and I said, and I don't do prayers, I don't know this stuff, so I'm just a simple prayer guy, and I said, God, please send me someone smart, because I don't know what to do. But I got Randy, and so he don't want me telling his background, but he's smart, you guys. He's done a whole lot of stuff. But I'm sorry, Randy, you've done your life for the wrong reasons this whole time, right? And you found a purpose, and you've never felt better, right? And we're not even getting paid, and our life is better. So that's what we're offering for everybody here. It doesn't matter what you can or can't do. You don't need any experience, because I had zero. I have YouTube, though, and we can all YouTube some stuff. Phone calls, being there in the community, Telling people about Favors for Neighbors is what this is going to do. I keep hearing now one person, the guy's there, one person's there, the one person's there, over and over. Just like boots on the ground the first 4 months, I'm hearing the one person's there, the one person's there. The one person is there, but I can't reach him because I'm one person. But you can help reach him. Everyone here can talk to one person or more and find the person we're supposed to have to help us. You know it's funding. Funding's number one. Let's be honest. I'm not going to lie. That's crazy to think you can just live and not get paid. We're trying to develop different things. Go ahead, Randy.
But, you know, we understand that you are all committed
Yeah.
to your own or somebody else's ministries, and you know, maybe it's difficult to donate, but if we could just rely on you guys as a form of a brain trust
There.
to keep us in mind, give us suggestions,
Ideas.
let us know the things that we don't know that you recognize.
Yeah.
Maybe you could give an hour a week of yourselves, your wives might, friends, neighbors, any of that kind of stuff that you can keep us in your mind.
And suggestions, because again, we just started. He's not been in nonprofits. I don't know what I'm doing. As I said, we need suggestions. Maybe you guys know something that would help us. I don't know. It could be little and you not think it's important. Well, I have a sign-up sheet. Please write something on there, your phone number, and say you want to talk. Anything that will help us get some traction and keep this thing alive. It's not going to last much longer. I'm going to have to get a job, which is fine. I don't mind. I'm in school still. I'm doing work on the computer because I can't do other stuff that I've always done my life, but I can help people. That's simple. I can go out and make a difference in their day. That's what we're doing. We're not bringing jobs. We're bringing compassion, caring, and companionship. The 3 C's that are so important for people to feel alive again. And you don't have to know these people. They're people. This is a problem for everybody. It doesn't matter. All these groups, special this, all this funding going to that group and that. What about just to humans? What about just to seniors? People that we're all going to be in that boat one day.
These are somebody's mothers, grandmothers,
Aunts.
in so many cases they've been abandoned.
And we were blessed to partner up with the Valley News. I don't know if anyone still gets a newspaper right now, but she heard us speak at an HOA and said, I'm all in too. Yeah. How can I help as a newspaper? Because she's sponsoring us. So we have the Valley News flyers here. They're willing to get...
City of Temecula.
City of Temecula. County of Riverside, Adult Protective Services calls me. Because they know I help for free. They know I actually help. They don't have paperwork and all this other crap that stops people from getting the help. I started this myself. I'll make the rule. I'll go help for free. I don't care where it's at. I don't have red tape right now. Not yet. I'm sure it's going to come. It's going to come.
I passed out these flyers last week. Is there anybody here that didn't get one from last week?
So these flyers just say a little bit about what we do, a little of a fundraising idea we have to give neighbors. Say you have a neighbor that their yard has just gone to shambles. Well, that's a red flag. Something might be wrong. So you as a neighbor who has a heart, you care about that neighbor, here's a voucher. I got this voucher from Favors for Neighbors. I purchased it for $40 to give you. And the value of the voucher, the work can be up to $2,000. I'll still do it for the same price, $0. It doesn't matter. The favor's for free, you know, but the neighbor that sees you give them something of value, they'll feel it. I know it's a couple bucks, but if it was just a piece of paper, there's no real value. It shows you just, yeah, maybe you care, but if you spend $40 on helping that neighbor, that shows them value, right? This is just one idea we're having, guys. We don't know.
Here's the vouchers.
Here's the vouchers.
It's just another form of marketing. Of course, a person can just go online, use the QR code. They can donate anything to us. But this was another marketing idea that we've come up with. So if someone wants to buy a favor for a friend, a loved one, a neighbor, this is to whomever, from whomever, and it is a favor voucher. So they just call us up, you know, Mike goes over and does what they need, and it's such a unique way to say I love you or I like you to somebody.
Or I care, simple. I'm human, I care about another neighbor.
And just think about the perfect gift, unusual, when you're trying to think of a birthday, maybe Christmas, whatever. What a great novel gift this is.
And it opens the door to tell them about Jesus.
That's right.
So this is where I would wanted to lead and end, right? Because I don't know that part, but this is opening door. This is reaching the people we can't reach, the shut-ins, the ones that don't know about us, the ones that don't know about Jesus anymore, the ones that forgot, the ones that don't have anyone to take them to church, the ones that don't know. But that's what you guys are here for me, because how am I supposed to spread the word if I don't know the word? I know what I've seen. I know what I feel. You guys can help me with this just by making calls and saying, hey, look, this is real. We are all in it together. It's not just me and Randy. You guys might not know it, but you're involved. You're involved now because he sent me here. I'm not here by just chance. The other day I pulled up here, we had a meeting here at 1 o'clock to meet, Faith is her name that runs this, and we talked about getting on the radio. She couldn't be there at 1 o'clock. Well, guess what? She could be there at 4, so we talked about getting on the radio. Come back at 4 o'clock, the radio station setting up a tent right where I pulled up. Right where I pulled up. I said, hold on, we just talked about being on the radio 3 hours ago. Okay, we had a meeting 4 o'clock. I stood out there and talked to them. We're going to have a podcast. How is this... You guys are supposed to do something, and I don't want to sound like a jerk or tough or nothing, but you guys need to help this because it's not my idea. You guys all know whose idea it is. I couldn't come up with this. But thank you for listening to me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for not making me feel too embarrassed for shedding some tears, but the Holy Ghost is real inside me nonstop. And I just thank you again for listening and maybe being part of us. Helping us out, suggestions.
Sign-up sheet is over there on the table.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.